Gallimera, Gallimera. I wasn't sure whether we was on there or not because the sun is in my eyes. Well, good morning. How are we today? Well, thought we'd just quickly first have a look at the weather. The weather today, absolutely, it's quite glorious. There is a little bit of a chilly wind, so I've had to put a little jacket on. But other than that, we got reasonably blue skies, a little bit of dark cloud, but I don't think there's any worries about any rain or anything, unless Amanda says differently. But at the moment, it is looking absolutely quite nice. A lot better than yesterday, that is for sure. Yesterday was, again, a bit of a miserable day yesterday. Jane and I did some mega cleaning yesterday of the lounge. I even cleaned the windows yesterday on the outside, around the side, because obviously they were getting hit by the old fine sands of the Sahara. Anyway, so we come around here into the sun, and it's glorious. Clear blue skies all the way over towards Kalamaki and in the Laguna direction, which is looking good. And as we look up to the top there towards the Sulavi area, it is looking nice clear blue skies towards there. However, a little bit of cloud looking up towards the direction of Volumez. But other than that, yeah, I think we could be in for a nice day today. Right, there's a lot of news today. There's been a lot of things going on. You'll notice from my feeling today, it's a feeling of motivation. So I basically want to quickly get down to the news because a lot has been going on in this last 24 hours. And also as well, I have updates in concerning the parade, and everybody loves a parade as well for tomorrow. What's happening on the celebration of the 200th anniversary of Greece. So I'm going to get down and give you all this today. There's been so much going on within the last 24 hours. Some people were a bit disappointed in the news yesterday. Trust me, I do look for the positive aspect of our news, but sometimes it's best to be honest. If things aren't good, things aren't good. And you can't dress it up in any other way. I think everywhere where you look now at the moment, the news has not been good. No matter which country you're in at the moment, everything just seems to be all doom and gloom. However, let's see if I can shed a little bit of comfort to you, a little bit of positivity, because to be honest, some of our news today is a little bit disconcerting, to be quite honest. Right, let's just switch me around so you can see my lovely face this early morning. Yes, my glasses have been reacting to the bright sunlight. It's quite difficult to see through them, to be quite honest. Anyway, it's March the 24th. It's Wednesday. And it is day 138 of the lockdown. So we're getting closer to 140 days. Anyway, COVID in the last 24 hours. Now, right, let's crack on with these figures. Now, at the moment, figures are up across Greece at the moment. Yesterday, I did report there was 1,707 new cases across Greece. However, today I can report to you now that that number has gone up considerably to 3,586 new cases across the country. That brings the grand total at the moment to 242,347 since the pandemic started last year. Now, there were 10 new cases identified, entries into the country. That number, thankfully, is down a little, where we did report that there were 21 new cases in the country coming through various ports of entry. Now, when it comes to the national stats regarding the islands, Lefkada reported no new cases. There were 3 cases reported on Kefalonia. No new cases, believe it or not, on Corfu. However, Zakynthos on the national stats, we had 23 cases recorded here on the national statistics. Right now, however, when I started looking at the local statistics for this morning, that number is 15 cases. Now, last night when we went to bed at 9 o'clock, it was 14. Wake up this morning, the number has risen to 15. Now, according to the information I have at the moment, only 3 of those number actually came from the hospital. The rest of them were all confirmations through private laboratories that also do testing here on the island as well. Now, certainly, this report shows that coronavirus is still on the rise in Zakynthos, especially in recent days. And this is the reason why we are now in red, or we have been in red. But Zakynthos is now, as far as the Greek health authority concerned, is now an area of concern, and we've been lumped into 8 other areas across the country, including Attica, also West Athens as well, as one of those areas of concern. Now, currently our rate of infection per 100,000, believe it or not, for Zakynthos, we are 56.43 per 100,000. Now, even though there's not 100,000 people on the island, it's just the way that they marry up and what's the word I'm looking, mathematically play with the numbers to get some idea of the state, and that is the standard that's been set every 100,000, and we are 56.43. Believe it or not, looking at West Athens, our number is slightly higher than West Athens, who are about 55.4 something. So again, we are not looking good in the national figures for the way that positive cases are going. Now, at the moment, Zakynthos now this year, according to my tally, we've had 229 positive cases since the beginning of the year. We've had 30 cases in January. We had 70 cases in February. And as of today, we've had 129 cases for the month of March as well. Right, when it comes to deaths, then at the moment, the death figure is down across the country. At the moment, the death rate at the moment was 69 deaths on my previous report. Now that has dropped down to 51 new deaths across the country. And once again, our condolences to those people that are affected. That brings the total now of deaths since the pandemic started to 7,531. The average age of those people, 79 years of age. 96.4% of those had underlying health conditions or were over the age of 70. So at the moment, if you look at that, the normal death rate for Greece around about 2019 was an average of about 329 deaths a day. Now, when it comes to the island at the moment, just a reiteration of deaths here. We've had 3 deaths on the island linked to COVID-19. We had one in February, which was a 70-year-old woman, and we have had 2 this month of March, an 80-year-old woman and also a 71-year-old as well. So only 3 deaths on the island. As for critical cases at the moment, have gone up as well across Greece, and this is of major concern, especially to the health authorities. I did report last time there were 681 critical cases in ICUs across the country. Now that number has risen to 699 critical cases in the hospital. 458 of those are male and 241 are female. Now, the average age of critical patients is still around about 68 years of age, and 86% of those actually have underlying health issues or are over the age of 70. Anyway, Zakynthos at the moment, this was confirmed yesterday, has at the moment 7 people in the corona clinic who are undergoing treatment. At the moment, I don't know if any of those are in any form of ICU, intensive care, under incubation, but there are 7 people at the moment in the corona clinic here on the island in the hospital. Right, now looking at the news for today, the number of new infections in Greece going over 3,500 yesterday, with the admission to hospitals, particularly in the Attica and the Thessaloniki, reaching record levels, with the number of available ICU beds in Thessaloniki reaching critical limits as well. 206 private doctors drafted by the Health Ministry were expected to present themselves at public hospitals on Tuesday, according to the news I've been reading. Now, in Attica on Monday morning, there were 60 patients incubated in single rooms waiting to be admitted to the intensive care units, while the number continued to rise during the day. Half of those patients had COVID-19, while the rest went to non-COVID cases, which means that even the private sector does not have enough room actually to help. Already up until Monday, out of the 170 ICU beds in Attica's private clinics, 140 had been given to the National Health Service of Greece. When the requisition of doctors was announced, just 70 actually responded to the urgent call issued by the Health Ministry. The requisition order will last for 1 month, and the choice of doctors was based on their experience and age. And the doctors that they had to be under the age of 60. So if I was a doctor, they would not be calling for my services. There you go. That puts it into context. I don't think it matters the age of the doctor. It's all about whether they still got the memory and whether they still got the skill, if things are that critical at the moment. Anyway, according to Greek government sources on Monday, plans for the substantial reopening of the economy activities such as retail on March the 29th and that of schools as well are expected to be shelved and reconsidered when the number of corona cases stabilises and starts to decline. So this talk of coming out of lockdown on the 29th that was bandied about, looks like that is on hold at the moment. Anyway, echoing the same sentiment, Avalidis Vatopoulos, the professor of microbiology at the University of Western Attica, estimated that it is very difficult for retail to open on the 29th of March if the new reported cases are still exceeding 2,000 cases a day. He did tell Sky TV, the Greek Sky TV, any opening has its risks, adding, however, that the first tentative opening of hairdressers was the right thing as it offers society some respite and raises morale somewhat. Ladies love to have their hair done. Anyway, government sources said that there are no stricter measures that the state can take and that it is now up to the members of the public to comply with existing restrictions. Any further decisions are expected by the end of the week when the data will be re-evaluated. So anyway, also as well, just to let you know that Greece has extended its lockdown until April the 18th due to both the high infection rates across the country and the suffocating pressure on the health service. This will call a halt to the Easter holiday celebrations, with measures becoming even tougher over the festive period from the April the 1st to the 5th, when the majority of retail will be shut and gatherings will be severely limited. Oh, hang on a minute. My mistake on that. My mistake. I'm talking about Germany here, not talking about Greece. Let me just reiterate that. I've just had two stories blend into one. I do apologise. I'll restate that. Germany has extended its lockdown until April the 18th due to both high infection rates across the country and suffocating pressure on its health service. This will call a halt to Easter holiday celebrations over there, with measures becoming even tougher over the festive period from April the 1st to the 5th, when the majority of retail will be shut and gatherings will be severely limited. The Chancellor Angela Merkel has stated that the country is now in a very serious situation. So there you go. The Germans are now closing down, and obviously their Easter is different to ours. Our Easter is obviously a couple of weeks later, and we will see how things are. At the moment, we are still having this parade going ahead tomorrow, but I will get onto that in a short while. Anyway, Greek authorities have decided to accept 10,000 vaccinated Israeli tourists per week as part of the Green Pass initiative, allowing vaccinated individuals into the country as a way to kick off the Greek tourism season in the spring. Now, all the Israelis who will be allowed to visit Greece must show a certificate an idea which has been spearheaded by the Greek Prime Minister Mitsotakis in January, showing that they have received a vaccination, have been tested negative, or have antibodies against the coronavirus. Now, Israel rolled out a vaccination campaign that, according to the press, is second to none. Currently, 5.2 million Israelis have become inoculated with vaccines, with 55% receiving their first dose, and a whopping 49% have undergone their second dose as well. Now, the European Union, with very few of its citizens fully inoculated, is lagging behind most of the rest of the world in its pace of inoculations, but also they are expecting it to implement a similar system with a green pass. Anyway, and interestingly, 4.4% of Greeks at the moment are fully inoculated, in contrast to the lightning speed of the Israeli rollout. The highest ranked nation of the EU regarding the rate of citizens with full vaccination protection is Serbia, with approximately 12%. Greece has now fully inoculated only 4.4% of its citizens, and just a paltry 1% of Bulgarians are now fully protected, and they are the lowest inoculated country in the EU at the moment. Interestingly, Serbia is one of the countries that Greece has been talking with to obviously get Serbian tourists to come here as well at the beginning of the season. And I do remember last year we did have Serbian tourists, and they were quite a novelty, if I remember rightly, as they got here basically by driving overland to come into Greece, and obviously come to Zakynthos as well. Now, interestingly, law enforcement authorities in Limassol, good morning to Limassol, I know we have viewers over there, they have tracked down and find a woman who was seen video dancing in a Greek taverna against the pandemic health protocols that are in place in Cyprus. According to local media, a video showing an adult female and others, including fellow diners, dancing in a local Greek taverna in Limassol has been making the rounds on social media, while also catching the attention of the police. Anyway, local media said the video was originally posted on Instagram over the weekend, while additional reports said the event was also live streamed, showing people getting up and dancing at their tables. Anyway, guess who posted the video of fellow diners dancing also included comments on social media such as busting a move and remarks accompanied by police vector icons. Anyway, another video showing 3 different scenes which were edited with the lower third titles saying no dancing, barely dancing, and dancing out of control. Anyway, last week the strict rules for eating joints were published by the Cypriot government after the health ministry issued an executive order allowing bars and restaurants and tavernas to open under a new phase of relaxed measures against the pandemic. Anyway, the rules included, this sounds like us last year, the rules included rocking around the table while music that could excite guests could not be played through loudspeakers. Anyway, clarification was later provided by officials saying the ban was not against the Pacific music styles, but targeted Pacific behaviour such as dancing on the dance floor. So basically the same rules we had here last year in the summer: no dancing, no standing, no going to the bar, you sit at your tables, no more than 6 people to a table, and they had to be family, otherwise only 4 people to a table. So it sounds like the same rules that we had running last year were being implemented over there in Cyprus. Anyway, the police investigation managed to track down the woman, questioned her. She was then fined €300 for violating the emergency health violations. Another person described as a member of staff was also fined for not wearing a mask properly. And the female owner and a male manager on the site were also under investigation for a host of offences beyond the health regulations, such as operating an establishment without a permit, unauthorised sale of alcohol, and playing music through loudspeakers without a licence from the city. Anyway, according to the reporter, The manager said she had tried to reason with the guests by asking them to stop dancing, but the diners kept on busting moves and singing along to the live music. Well, in my case, I would have just switched the music off and had silence until people sat down and did as they were told. Because if you're running a business, the last thing you want is the police coming in and fining you, as we had last year over in Zakynthos, people being fined for having people in just after the midnight curfew, or basically for having lights on still, or those people that idiotically decided to still have parties going on behind closed doors, and then obviously got caught out and got fined very, very heavily for doing so. Anyway, another little story as well coming in. Athens Police is now outfitting some of its officers with body cameras as part of a pilot scheme in response to accusations of heavy-handed police tactics to quash protests. Anyway, about 20 officers of the motorcycle police and the crime prevention and suppression team will be wearing the new cameras, likely as of Tuesday, according to the officials from the Citizens Protection Ministry. Now, the camera will be activated during police operations or any clashes with protesters, sending the footage back to the police's Unified Coordination Centre. The same official also said on Monday that efforts were still underway to fix technical issues pertaining to the use of the cameras. Another 20 cameras of a different type are to be, which are supported by a stick. So basically got a little flash drive in them. They will be used in a pilot program as well by riot police officers, obviously for gathering evidence for convictions afterwards. These were first used in December 2020 during the march marking the deadly shooting of the teen by police, and more recently in the evacuation of an administration building at the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki. In both these cases, however, technical problems were identified with the equipment. Anyway, speaking in Parliament during a debate about police violence, Mr. Takis, the Prime Minister, proposed that police officers carry body cameras as well as improved training and also psychometric tests for new police recruits as well. And finally, the details of the parade. Yes, despite all the craziness that's going on, Mr. Takis is still having his 200th anniversary parade, and and that all kicks off tomorrow. Well, in actual fact, it kind of kicks off today. So I'm going to give you a quick potted rundown of what's happening today in regards to the build-up, which the Greek media is calling the day that everybody turns Greek and everything goes blue and white, and it will be tomorrow. Anyway, first of all, today we're expecting the arrival of the President of the Republic of Cyprus, Nikos Anstanidis. In fact, he should be arriving in Greece, or he should already be in Greece. But tomorrow at 11:45, he's going to be going to meet the Prime Minister of Greece, Mr. Mitsotakis, at the Maximus Palace, where they will obviously have a little meeting, and then joint statements will follow. Then, according to the schedule, the following arrivals are expected. 2 o'clock today, we should see the arrival of the Prime Minister of Russia. Yeah, he arrives at Athens International Airport. There's going to be a little honorary procession for him by the Ministry of Finance under the direction of Christos Stalogolas. So they're going to be probably asking for money at a little cocktail party, maybe. At 14:30, there will be a meeting of the Prime Minister, Mitsotakis, with the Prime Minister of Russia, again at the Maximus Palace. And joint statements will obviously follow once they've actually been doing that as well. Then at 17:35, it will be the arrival of the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall. They arrive at Athens International Airport. I wonder if they'll get a guard of honour. That's a good question. There will be an honorary reception by the Foreign Minister of Greece, Nikos Dentas. And then at on the following day at 06:21, if you're living up in Athens, you'll probably hear this, there will be a 21-gun salute fired by the Libertas cannon or the Liberty cannons. That will be fired at 06:21 in the morning, and they will be fired as they hoist the Greek flag on the Acropolis, or the Holy Rock as it is called, of the Acropolis, and that will take place as well at 0800 hours. And at 0830, there will be a eulogy at the Cathedral of Athens with the Archbishop of Athens and all of the Greek archbishops as well. Now, the parade, believe it or not, starts at 10 o'clock in the morning, and that's going to go on for approximately an hour. And also, from tomorrow, there's going to be Greek Navy ships in various ports across the country. Now, whether we get one or not here in Zakynthos, I don't know. Maybe because we're in deep red, they're not going to risk the Greek Navy catching anything. Maybe we will not see it. But not only that, there's also going to be a Russian vessel in as well. Obviously, the Russians are showing a presence here as well tomorrow. Anyway, at 0830, we get the 21-gun salute. We also get the flag raising, and the president of the Republic, Katerina, and fellow leaders, they will also be laying wreaths at the monument of the unknown soldier as well. At 1841, there will be another 21-gun salute as they take the Greek flag down from the Holy Rock of the Acropolis, and that basically ends the actual events of the Greek day in regards to the parade and also ceremonies that go on. At the moment, been no word about if people are allowed on the streets at the moment to watch the parade. I have been told that we may get a fly past over here by what they call the equine fighter squadron. Makes you think of the cavalry. They've got a jet that's all painted up in white and red, and that's going to be probably flying over the island at some point during the day, and it's going to do a little low fly past over Zakynthos again as a salute, because remember, Zakynthos is the island where the actual national anthem for Greece was written, and that's the reason why we're getting this fly past. Solomos, the famous Zakynthine poet, wrote the lyrics to the Ode of Freedom, and that poem, it was integrated into the national anthem. And another little fact for you, Greece has the longest national anthem of any other nation in the world. It just kind of goes on and on and on and on and on. Not like, oh, God Save the Queen, a quick couple of seconds and it's over. The Greek national anthem does go on. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see how the parade works out tomorrow. You'll probably be able to watch it through most of the Greek media here. Starting at 10 o'clock tomorrow is when the parade kicks off. And we'll see what happens. Be interesting to see if there'll be any protesters at the parade or anything else like that, or whether they'll all be kept away. But anyway, let's not let that spoil what could be an interesting day. Let's see what happens. And again, the kind of contradictiveness and the ludicrousy that is one of the reasons why we do love Greece. All right, let's have a quick look and see who's tuning in at the moment. Julie Meldrum is watching. Nice to see you. Shane Bowen is watching as well. Steve Hinckley in Stoke-on-Trent. He says, Gallimera, thanks for sending the rain back to us. It was a pleasure, mate. We had to send it somewhere. So obviously it's raining in Stoke-on-Trent at the moment. It's glorious here at the moment, although it's a little chilly when you're sat in the shade. Amanda Gregory is watching. Amanda says, good morning, Ginge. Cloudy with sunshine. Highs of 14 degrees. Yellow warning for winds this evening. Yellow warning. Enjoy the day. I certainly will. Thank you for that, Amanda. We missed you yesterday. Shane Bowen said, Gallimera, Ginge, looking nice over there. A bit overcast on Exmoor with light drizzles. Michael Getsakis is watching. Nice to see it. Where are you from, Michael? Are you Polish by any chance? That looks a little bit like a Polish name, actually. Emma Marco is watching as well. Nice to see you tuning in. Islyn Davis is watching as well. Lindsay Lamb is also watching on the island. Nice to have you looking in. John Maxwell is watching. Dave Matthews is watching as well. Dave says, good morning. Good morning to you. Julie Meldrum says, good morning, Ginge. Enjoy the sunshine today. It's a lovely day. I will enjoy the sunshine. Pam Stott is watching as well. Also, Simon Grinley over in Wendover is watching. Nice to have you tuning in, Raffridge buddy. Linda and Gary in Essex are also tuning in. Don't forget my show this afternoon. Requests and requested inspiration. I'm taking requests to start sticking them in the comments area for this afternoon. Donna Bird is also watching. Nice to have you looking in, Donna Bird. Steve Hinkling says, I can hear a hen laying an egg. Send Jane to find it. Oh, bless, we've got that many eggs. Trust me. Our landlord likes to bring a big bag every so often of eggs from the chickens and gives them to us. Bless it. I didn't know they had a special noise they made when they laid an egg either. I suppose they would make a noise, wouldn't they? Because they do seem quite big at times. Anyway, Chris Jones is watching. Matt Williams is watching as well. Diane Kemp is watching too. Graham Bint in Australia is tuning in. G'day, g'day, g'day. How you doing, buddy? Nice to see you here. Denise Williams is also watching. Andrew the Fridge Watkins in Wales is watching. Dave Burns as well. Morning, pal, he says. How are you, fella? How's it in Manchester at the moment? How's the weather there? Raining as well. Paul Mason is watching as well. Rosewood is watching as well. Nice to see you tuning in. Nick Roberts as well. Susan Owen is also tuning in. Nice to see you there. She says, from a sunny Stoke-on-Trent, she says. Really? I thought Steve said it wasn't sunny there at the moment. It was raining. But anyway, might be a different part of the town. Anyway, Chippy Woods in Spain is tuning in. I bet it's nice over there at the moment. Marie Hallberg from Sweden is tuning in. I bet there's snow over there and it's chilly. She says to me, I don't understand. They say they should be testing people at ports of entry. There are talks of opening late April and May. The island cannot afford to go another year with no season. Do you know what? I totally agree with you. That this is what I'm saying. The whole thing at the moment is ludicrous. We're going to have a massive big parade in Athens. We are in an element of, what are we in? Area of concern. It's really weird. I reposted a news broadcast this morning on my Facebook page. You might want to have a look at it or listen to it from 2014. We were getting ready for the arrival of Ryanair this week, and we were also getting ready for the arrival of EasyJet this week back in 2014. Technically, March would be the beginning of our pre-season, okay, before we go into the proper season starting on the 1st of May. Everything now is totally in array. Been getting lots of reports at the moment of people's holidays being cancelled. You've got a bill that's going to get passed probably on Thursday in the British Houses of Parliament, which is going to be effectively banning holidays and booking holidays, and £5,000 fines going out if you leave the country. At the moment, we really do not know what the situation is going to be for the British tourists come May, June, bloody July like last year, which we do not want. All right, we are looking at maybe the Germans might be coming on the 3rd of May. We might be looking at the Serbians coming. It definitely looks like we've got the Israelis coming, but they are not enough people. They are not enough. And we need more people. So let's see what's going to happen in this next couple of days in the UK, because at the moment, UK, and I was having this discussion yesterday with the lovely Ian Thompson. Ian, for those people who are not aware, Ian got sepsis in his leg, was rushed to hospital. He had to have his leg amputated because the sepsis infection became worse. And at the same time, he also got affected by COVID. Now, when I was speaking to him yesterday, Britain had a lower death rate from COVID than what Greece had. And you look at a country of 62 million to a country of 11 million, and it's like excuses are being put up all the time to not go back to work. Britain should now be coming out. It's a case of you've got to live with it. You cannot fight this virus at the moment. You have to live with it. It's mutated. It's changing its tactic. And to say now that they're protecting Britain from a virus coming into the country, it's like shutting the gate after the horse has bolted. It's too late. You've just got to live with it. You've got to get your economy up and running, get people back to work, protect the vulnerable, yes, but you cannot live another year in the situation that you're in. And we certainly can't afford another year in this situation either. We've got to get back to work. We've got to get bars open. We've got to get restaurants open. Yes, we're having a spike at the moment, but that's going to happen anyway. It's proved the lockdown does not work. It's still happening and we're still getting an increase. We have to let it run its course, let it take its route, and then obviously we try and address it as it's going along. We're going to have to live with it. Instead of getting the word flu before jab, it might be COVID jab every year, as the same way it does in the UK at the moment, where you had your flu jab this winter. Oh yeah, I'm going to have my flu jab. It's the same thing now. But God knows why. This hype of this whole thing, this madness of the whole thing, the waste of money for the whole thing. Kits sat in hospitals not being used. IPE, everywhere you look, masks are rubbish on the ground rather than coffee cups from frappes. It's masks everywhere now. So again, at the end of the day, I don't understand what's going on either. To answer your question, Amanda, we get round to answering the question. We just have to do as we're told, comply, because the last thing we want, if we're not going to have jobs to go back to, and there's a lot of people this morning waking up on this island being told they have no job to go back to when the summer season starts. It's a case of, you know what? We need to get back to work, and we need for some kind of normality to take place in the UK, because trust me, this island relies on the UK as our major source of tourism. All right. With people we know that come here and we know they spend money. And again, there's a lot of people in the UK just want to get out from the madness in the UK, come on holiday, recharge their batteries, and then reflect on what's going to happen when they get back. But at the moment, the way things are looking, God knows. I really despair at times. I really do. I hope I'm not sounding too negative at the moment. Anyway, I'm just going to flick quickly through because I've been going on too long at the moment. Morning, Ginge. I've just finished work and it's great to tune into your fine carved broadcast of the important news per Arja, buddy. Cheers for that, Gary. I appreciate that, mate. Also, Dave Matthews is tuning in. He says, Dave Matthews is saying, good morning, Gary. Raf Reg Boys talking together. Also, Nikos from the Obelix restaurant is tuning in. Lovely to see you. You must be despairing at the moment, Nikos. I bet you must be wondering where the hell is it all going to end and when are we going to start and what is going to happen for the summer. Also, Gary Horsfield says, morning, Dave. They're all talking to each other now. Tim Crystal is tuning in from Oxford. Dave Matthews. There's people chatting to each other. Rebecca, Rachel Hanson, I hope I'm sounding a bit more positive for you this morning, my darling. I don't know if I am, to be quite honest. Gary Horsfield says, morning, Tim. Galimera. Anyway, listen, I'm just going to flick through and see if we got... hello we go. This is an interesting one. Dave Matthews has just said, just to let you know, the Seychelles opens its borders tomorrow, unrestricted, just need a COVID-free test. Well, do you know what? You've actually raised a good point there, Dave. Whatever country decides they're going to run a minimal requirement for people to come and visit for a holiday, that country is going to clean up, absolutely clean up. If the Greek government was to say tomorrow, right, we're going to reopen again on the 1st of May. If you want to come on holiday, get a COVID test, and you're negative before you can come, open arms. We'll test you at the airport randomly. If you test positive when you arrive, we'll stick you in a hotel for the duration of your stay and then put you on the plane and send you back. You know what? That country would cream it in tourism. Absolutely cream it in tourism. And I'm just hoping somebody above us is now starting to sit down, get focused and say, look, we can't sustain this, especially Greece. We cannot sustain this. We need to reopen. We need to get some kind of semblance of order. But again, we need for Boris to turn round, shut his gob for once, let people move about. MPs who've been on furlough, still earning their money. It's not affected them in the true sense as what it has their constituents who have struggled to keep their businesses going, also to keep their health to a degree, but they're still getting paid. They're sitting in the Houses of Parliament with their masks on, socially distancing. Such a theatrical show. Zoom conferencing questions from their constituency because it's too dangerous to go into London. It's all just bollocks. Absolute bollocks. You know, Boris, get a grip of your people. Get a grip. And say, right, we need to move forward. We cannot stay locked down like this. You have now seen your infection rate drop off the cliff. It has dropped down. And all you seem to be doing is empowering the police, empowering the right to have free speech and closing down avenues for people to question anything that's going on. And I've got to be honest, I thought what the people in Bristol did was despicable. But do you know what? It's a warning. You cannot lock people down the way you've been locking them down. And in some respects, you've not even had a proper lockdown in the way that we have had a lockdown over here. So again, we shall wait and see. Listen, I'm going on too long. I don't want to bore you. Thanks again for all those people tuning in. We shall quickly we shall keep an eye on how things go tomorrow. Let's hope that this parade, as crazy as it's going to sound, is going to, somebody's now mentioned Harry and Meg. Don't start me on Harry and Meghan, please. Do not start me there. Oh, no, listen, I'm going to have to go. Once again, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget my show this afternoon, Requests and Inspirations. Big shout out to Aaron. I've got your wife in the Golden Vault today with her #1 record on the day that she was born. I've also got your request. If you want to put a tune in, we're going to find a few Greek tunes as well for this afternoon because obviously it's the 200th anniversary of the foundation of modern Greece. And I've got a little chicken here who's been wandering around at my feet looking to get fed. I'm going to disappear away. Thank you for all the little love symbols that are going up. I think they're saying, oh, God, he's going to stop now. Thank God for that. I better go and I will speak to you again tomorrow on the 200th anniversary of what's going on. We will see if this parade kicks off tomorrow. So we shall wait and see. Anyway, you take care. Have a great day. And we'll see what ship turns up in the harbour tomorrow as well. If we get a visit from the Russians. We normally get a visit from the Russians. Or do we get one of Greece's own ships here? And also the flight past as well. So look out for the Livyad aircraft flying over tomorrow as well. Part of the celebrations of the 200th anniversary. Anyway, I'll catch you later. Be good. And I'll catch you. Ta-ra.